It's shining.
All right, we should be good. We should be live.
Yep.
Steady having flashbacks. Dirty cash in the glad wraps. I used to cook it like a lab rat. Bag of 50 slabs, asking junkies where the cash at. Steady booming off a two.
Guess what, guys? We're live, and guess who's commentating with us this evening? Clint House. Who would have thought? He's back.
Hey, I'm back for the best fans in the United States of America. AFC South, baby, come on.
We're going to wait for some people to log on, get some viewers up. We got a guest commentator this evening. Super excited about that because we haven't had one for the Jaguars yet.
There we have. We had your boy Tom McManus on.
No, I mean like a writer.
I
I don't like that term. Beat writer. Sounds better.
Live in the group, pinned to the top.
All right.
And I'm posting in all the other fake AFC South fan battles.
All right. Y'all ready to get this going? We already got some comments
do
coming
it.
in. Oh, that's weird.
Some echo somewhere.
Chris says that's a strange group, and then Facebook user said that's because the Jags suck. That's funny because it just says Facebook user, so show your face.
We're starting this out that early. Just to
Really?
hate for the Jaguars.
That's the problem.
I mean,
is we have
I'd
a
hate
chat
on
now.
us too.
All right, let's get this going.
Oh, you guys got a chat? Ooh.
Yep,
can't wait
and
to
it's
go back and
live
look at
all the
that.
time.
Oh, sweet. This is going to be fun. I can't wait.
Yep. All right.
By the way, your comment, that's because the Jags suck, is your boy Testman.
Oh, shocker. Okay. Doesn't he like Green Bay?
Yeah.
No, that's Flame. Who was it?
Wait,
The
yeah,
Rams, the
Flame
Rams.
Douglas.
The Rams. We see you, Testmer.
He was a Ram. He was a Rams. Yeah, Rams.
Yeah, we see you, Testmer. All right, here we go.
Testmer. He just follows us around like a lost puppy.
Y'all ready?
Good.
Thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. My name is Samantha Wernett, and we have some exciting news. Season 3, Episode 2. As of this episode, we are now on the Brawl Network family of podcasts. Super excited about it. I do want to mention, before we get into saying our commentators for this evening, it's International Women's Day. So that's super exciting as a woman. We also got a new woman referee this week, the first black woman referee. So, we don't have to sit here and be like, oh, why is this woman out of the kitchen? She's talking about the football things. And, good job, women. The pioneer women who made us able to do this. So, without further ado, that was a lot more quiet. You guys couldn't clap or anything?
I was
Yeah,
waiting-
I was waiting.
No, no,
Good
just-
job.
Look, I was trying to give a shout out.
We've already we got the first black woman referee.
Woo!
Yeah.
Sorry, you didn't hit the button. My bad.
God,
No, I'm so sorry. Maya Shaka.
Maya
Shout out to
Shaka.
Is it?
She also,
Maya
she
Shaka.
has an awesome name.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't
that's
say,
a cool name.
I didn't say her name because I didn't want to butcher it because it's like M-A-I-A, and I didn't want to butcher it.
Yeah.
It's too soon. Too soon.
Fair enough. No. Shout out to Maya for sure.
Yeah, her name's going to be known. Everybody's going to know her name.
Well,
Yep.
joining us this evening for the Colts, we have Harish Nukala.
We don't need to spend in free agency to compete with this division.
Okay. Joining us for the Texans, we have Matt Briggs.
Hey, like Birdman said, put some respect on it. It's the Arizona Texans, okay? Get it right. Arizona Texans.
And joining us for the Titans, we have Ray Cherry.
You know how it do, baby. AFC South champs. Tighten up. Fall down.
Oh, congrats. First time in a decade. And joining us for the Jaguars, he's back. Mr. Clint House.
I'm going to tell you right now that Harish was just lying at what he said. But I'm back, baby. Let's go.
And our special guest for this evening is Demetrius Harvey from Big Cat Country and allgators.com. You can find him on Twitter at Demetrius82. How you doing, Demetrius?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you guys having me on today.
We appreciate you coming on. You're actually the first Jaguars writer we've had. We've had a Jaguars player,
I'm honored.
but we haven't had a Jaguars writer. So I'm excited about this personally. So normally we would kick it off with news, but I know that we only have you for a little bit. So we have a couple questions and we'll take a couple from the group and we'll let you get going. How's that sound?
That sounds great to me.
Yeah, there's been a lot of movement within the Jaguars organization. Like we don't have, that would take up an entire podcast to talk about everything. But one that I want to ask as a writer, as somebody who sees this kind of stuff and looks into this kind of stuff, me personally, I'm one of the few who is not happy about the Andrew Norwell massive contract. I never have been, especially after that first season when he kind of tanked it. They restructured his contract last year. They actually put out today that they're asking him to restructure again. So what are your feelings on this? Basically, I want to know if you like Andrew Norwell.
Well, last season it seemed like Andrew was able to at least step up his game somewhat, or actually significantly from like the past couple years, especially from when he signed to 2019, where you saw those sort of turnstile lowlights, I guess you would call it, from what he was showing out at least during that year. But last year was actually pretty good. So it just, to me, it comes down to if they do want to renegotiate with him in order to get him down to a lower number, or to end up trading him, or even maybe releasing him, it would come down to a scheme fit. Because personally, if you're looking at the offensive line, there's already going to be potentially a hole at left tackle, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit. And then if you're going to have to be changing the right or the left guard as well, at that point, you're just creating holes where they don't need to be created. Now, the only logical answer I could see is if, he's just not a player that fits within an Urban Meyer fast-paced scheme. Andrew's sort of a lumbering guy. He's a power guard. He's not necessarily somebody you would see in a spread offense. So it really just depends on what they're looking at there. And if it is something where it's schematical, then that's why.
I just always find that like the people that heavily listen to 1010 are like, Andrew Norwell's the best and he deserves this. And then there's the realist. So we're like,
Well, I think it kind of goes to what Demetrius was saying is Andrew Norwell is not a bad player, right? It's just the scheme that he plays in. And it just turns out that the scheme the Jags run doesn't fit his style, and vice versa, right? So he was really good with the Panthers. That's the reason why the Jags picked him up. It comes down to scheme fit.
He didn't look that bad last year in Jay Gruden's offense. I mean, the run game, at least. He didn't look terrible. He didn't look great, but he didn't look that bad.
I also think because honestly, his contract was restructured for incentives, correct or no? Or was not? They took out the incentives.
I'm not sure about that.
And gave him security.
I'm not sure about that, but regardless, I feel as though, he did play a lot better last year. So if you are going to keep him, I would certainly understand that. But if you are going to move on, like I said, it might be because of scheme. We don't necessarily know. They could just be trying to restructure him for other reasons. It can't be the cap space this year, at least.
And that's kind of what I'm looking at right now is what the cap space is for the Jags. We're at $81.71 million in space, and his contract is 15 million and includes a 25 million or 12 million salary and a prorated 3 million signing bonus. That would make him the largest coming cap hit for the team.
But like I explained to everybody else, like the whole NFL is taking a cap hit, so this isn't just him. But anyways, let's move on. He doesn't deserve this time. Anyway. Urban Meyer announced that he's going to have a big press conference tomorrow and then Balk on Wednesday. Do you know? Because I'm nosy. I want to know what this is about. I can't wait. Do you know what this is about?
Well, in buying time, since we haven't had a combine, we haven't been able to speak with them about the roster, about free agency coming up, about the draft. So that's pretty much what this will probably focus on tomorrow. I know I have a few questions about either free agency or how they feel about this overall roster. So that in the next couple of days, that's sort of what it will be centered around. I'm not sure if he has any sort of announcement to make. I mean, he'll do it if he has one at the beginning of his press conference, but for now, I think it's just, questions from the media to the two men in charge.
What time is this at?
I think.
I don't even know.
Urban Meyer's at 12. Urban Meyer's at 12 tomorrow, and then Balky's on Wednesday, but I'm not exactly sure what time it is.
I can't call him Balky either. He's always Balk to me. Balky.
Yeah, he's also
Balky.
So both at noon on Tuesday and then Wednesday.
I have 2 more questions for you, and then Clint can ask you. We'll take some from the group, and you can head out.
Sounds good.
Actually, 3. Let's be honest. I have 3 more. Okay, I'm a woman, so it's natural for me to overthink this. Okay, I'm an overthinker.
What a way to start. Come on, bring it.
Well, I noticed that Allen Robinson is following Tony Khan on Instagram. I'm just saying. Harish has been telling me this whole time that he's going to the Colts, but what do you think?
I'm not sure. I think Allen Robinson's going to go to the team that pays him the most money, which, I mean, honestly, he should. It's probably going to be his last opportunity to get a contract, whether that's the Jaguars or the Colts. The Colts also have a lot of cap space. I could kind of see it. It just depends on how much money they're willing to throw at him. He's also a guy who's going to want some championships, so it really just depends on the team fit. Obviously, everybody in Jacksonville would want him back for clear reasons. You have
I would
Trevor
pitch
Lawrence
in to pay
coming
his
in.
salary. I will personally.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people will.
Right. So
I see that.
It would make sense for sure to have like a reunion, I guess, for Allen Robinson to join the Jaguars again. But we'll see. I mean, there hasn't really been too many whispers on where he's going to go. I remember there was some talk about the Bears potentially using a franchise tag on him and then trying to trade him to acquire some assets, which would be smart. But they're also in the market for a quarterback. So there's a lot of movement going on. Maybe they try to trade for Deshaun Watson whenever the Texans have to inevitably trade him. So
Listen, you say there's no talks about it or signs, but I'm telling you, he's following Tony Khan. Trevor Lawrence is following him. Okay, I've done my research and deleted all of his Bears pictures and only has Jags pictures.
There you go,
It's
Demetrius.
like the conspiracy theory.
I'm here
All
for
of that
There
points
you go,
to
Demetrius.
Allen Robinson
All
signing.
the-
That was the woman in her. Just doing the extensive research. I really appreciate that.
I don't know when he signs.
I've seen a lot of people. Try to connect those dots, especially the Trevor Lawrence one. It kind of makes sense. I would put more weight on it, I guess, if Allen Robinson also followed Trevor Lawrence back. Then it would be
Ooh.
something to think
So when
about.
I'll keep an eye
Yeah,
on
I
that,
think
and
so
when he
too.
does, I'll tweet you, okay? Because it's
All
gonna
right, sounds
happen.
good.
It's gonna
So-
happen right before the draft, because Allen Robinson will be signed before then, right? We'll see. I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll see. Next
Well,
week, right?
let me. So this will be my last question. As you know, once again, writing, seeing all these things, reporting all these things. What do the Jags need? First of all, Fields or Lawrence? Even though we're getting closer, we already know the answer. But I have to ask everybody that comes on here.
Yeah, there's no competition. I've been asked this plenty of times, and every single time it's Trevor Lawrence, and I think that's exactly what the Jaguars are going to do. I don't see any reason to think otherwise. A lot of people are starting to hype up Wilson, who's a great quarterback in his own right, but Trevor Lawrence has been the clear-cut number one overall guy since maybe even since he was in high school, really. So it wouldn't make sense for any other reason for Urban Meyer to come back just to have a shot at, one of the three quarterbacks he clearly has one in mind, and that guy is the guy he was standing like 2 feet away from during his pro day.
Hey,
that was a
real quick,
question.
Demetrius.
That was actually a question in the group. How realistic is it that the Jags don't take Lawrence?
It's the NFL, so it's always a non-zero chance, I guess. But I would put it as close to zero as you can possibly get. Every single sign, it would be the biggest smokescreen ever for a number one pick, which wouldn't even make sense. So it just doesn't make sense otherwise. So Trevor Lawrence is the guy.
Well, we are the Jaguars.
Who do you think we need to sign at this point? What positions do we need to fill, I should say?
Well, there's a long list there. The Jags are sort of in a big rebuilding mode, so there's not very many clear-cut, this guy's for sure starting, except for maybe at running back, a couple of the receivers. But for the most part, they need to figure out the left tackle position. I think that's their first priority after Trevor Lawrence. They haven't yet franchise tagged Cam Robinson, so he might be heading into free agency, and if he is, and you can't bring him back, then you have to look at plan B, or maybe he is a plan B. So maybe a Trent Williams, obviously he's out there in San Francisco right now coming from the Washington football team. He probably will want to re-sign in San Francisco. That's what he said. He said that they'll have the first dibs at him, but you have a chance to probably be the best or one of the best left tackles in the NFL, even if he was coming off of a semi-down year for his, skill set. So the first priority for sure should be left tackle. After that, maybe add in another wide receiver, Curtis Samuel, somebody like that. Justin Simmons is already, off the market because he was franchise tagged, but a safety, and then, the tight end position, Jonnu Smith, obviously from the Tennessee Titans. If they don't end up franchise tagging him or re-signing him, that would be a great addition as well.
Get off Jonnu. Everybody's trying to get Jonnu. Get off of him.
Hey, there's been rumors of him going to Indianapolis too.
Yeah, we know the Titans aren't getting him because they only have $10 million and 20 people to sign. So we need to start thinking about the options outside of Tennessee.
Franchise tag.
Clint, I know you had a question for Demetrius before we let him go.
I do. Demetrius, I'm going to close you out, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm a big fan of Big Cat Country. Like, some of the tweets and stuff that your organization puts out is just absolutely hilarious. So thank you so much for coming on. I'm looking at Big Cat Country right now. If you're a Jaguars fan, make sure you head over bigcatcountry.com. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter. They put out some great content for Jaguar fans. Like, it's really great. But, I'm here right now and I'm looking at, an article that y'all put out that says the quarterback room could be shaken up. So my question is, if we're going to 99.9999%, we're going to take Trevor Lawrence. So what are we going to do for the backup position? Like, what do you think we're going to do for that?
Yeah, there's a couple of thought processes you can go down. On one hand, you can say, Gardner Minshew's been around the team, he's been around the players, so he understands at least that aspect of it. The players understand him, so for him to be a backup quarterback already in the league for a couple years, he's a cheap backup. He's played at a good level throughout his career so far, at least a solid level compared to a lot of other backup quarterbacks in the NFL.
I agree.
So you could potentially think about keeping him, but the more I think about it and the more that makes sense, bringing in a guy like Alex Smith, like Alfie pointed out in his article, it does make sense because of the Urban Meyer connection, because of how many years Alex Smith has had in this league, and then obviously his experience with Kansas City, with San Francisco, and then obviously recently with Washington. It just makes sense for them to try to grab a guy like him and then perhaps trading Minshew. Now, if you do trade Minshew, then you know that you're done at that position. You're going to have to end up maybe drafting another guy to become a backup quarterback because Alex Smith isn't going to be there for that long. Jake Luton, in my opinion, isn't necessarily the long-term backup quarterback option. but you do want to have somebody behind Trevor Lawrence that's able to step in. So you have to just kind of weigh the pros and cons of getting a little bit of compensation for Minshew or just trading him and then signing a guy like Alex Smith, who obviously has the experience, he knows Urban Meyer, he knows the offense. He could teach Trevor Lawrence a lot of things. So I guess we'll see what they're going to do.
Well, we're looking at veterans like Andy Dalton, Alex Smith, Jacoby Brissett, Colts, Tyrod Taylor, Cam Newton, and C.J. Beathard. So there's a long list of veterans that we could, bring in, but, that's also going to add to, what we're spending overall. So I'm not too sure. Like, I think, I think keeping Minshew on the team and letting Luton go, and then, maybe just drafting some, third round quarterback for the third position.
You could. I mean, Jacoby Brissett actually is interesting to me, at least. Like, if you go out and get a guy like him who obviously has a lot of experience with the Colts.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't be too much either.
Right, and he's probably not going to cost you too much because of, he already got paid a little bit. There's not very many teams that are going to be looking at him as far as their starting quarterback. Backup quarterbacks do make some good chunk of money, but usually, when they come off of kind of down years or sort of hit free agency, they're not going to be attracting too much. So if you get a guy like him, and I guess he has a little bit of ties to Urban Meyer from his Florida Gators stint, that could make sense. But at the time, I'm not sure. I'm actually curious. Maybe tomorrow when we talk to Urban Meyer, he'll address what they have plans for at backup quarterback, if they have Gardner Minshew still in their plans, or what they're going to do at that position.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that too.
What about Wingard?
What if,
Does he become a ball boy? Do we sign him for a ball boy?
oh man,
Or a cheerleader?
Poor Andrew. he has the hair now, but
And he just looks angry all the time.
He's an interesting character. I mean, I think he's a solid special teams player. I mean, starting him at safety is probably not their best option, but yeah, I think special teams he can do some damage.
Well, we shall see. Demetrius, we greatly appreciate you coming on with us this evening. Tell us where to find you again, just so everybody knows before you log off.
No problem. You guys can find me at Demetrius82 on Twitter. Writing for BigCatCountry.com, and then also cover the Florida Gators for AllGators.com if you guys are into that.
I'm into that, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks.
Of course.
Demetrius.
Gotta love having guests on. They don't know what to expect.
That was some good information.
They don't know what to expect with us.
It's
like,
really cool to see.
These people just talk shit this whole time. Listen, before we dive into it, I do want to mention again the Brawl Network. Hold on. No? Okay.
Are we supposed to clap? Is that was that our cue?
Yeah,
That
I was
our cue,
clapping.
apparently.
Guys, we're on the Brawl. We're on the Brawl
to light up
Network.
the sign.
Shout out to the Brawl Network.
Yeah, thank you, Mike Brez, for listening and being like, "Oh, these dum-dums would be great to have on here." We appreciate the opportunity. So
We're not quite interview material yet, but the good stuff is on the way.
The funny thing is the Brawl Network was kind of founded the same way we were, but it was all Chicago Bear fans arguing against each other. So, it was a little different. But
they're like, we were a bunch of dummies that argued. Now let's find a bunch of dummies that argue, and we'll just come together.
Except around different teams that they all think is great.
Great.
We don't argue on our page. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, never. Like, we didn't get shut down a group of 10,000 for bullying, for arguing.
Oh, man.
I know.
I couldn't believe that, actually. I mean, I could believe it.
It was
But I
bound to
didn't
happen.
want to believe
Anyway.
it.
It was bound to happen.
And I had left. Like, I wasn't even doing anything in the group. And they got shut down? Oh, man.
Actually, I think we
when I
decided
left?
it was Roach's fault. That's what we decided.
Yeah.
Oh,
We were like, Clint, is that you?
Huh?
We were like, Clint, is that you?
Yeah, no, it wasn't me. Not this time.
Well, guys, we got a little bit of feedback on the Jaguars. Everything's kind of up in the air, obviously. You know, there's so much money. There's so much money.
So much money.
Just don't even know what to do. There's just so much money.
Like I can't remember the last time we were in this position to where we had just completely changed regimes. We've never been in the position of having the number one draft pick, and then we've got all of this money. If they mess this up, move the team to London. I'm done.
So what's really interesting about this whole thing, right, is, we talk about these options now, and I think there's a lot of, kind of like Demetrius was saying, there's a lot of moving pieces. As we go into this week and right before free agency, there's still a ton of players that are about to get released. Once we know the true cap number, right, because 180 is just the floor. A lot of players are going to be out there, and
that's
a team like the Jaguars, that benefits a team like the Jaguars, right? You do have all this money, but you want to bank on drafting well so that you could save this money to pay the players you draft. You pay them big bucks 3-4 years down the road.
We have a really, really good draft coming up. Like really good. 2 picks in the first round, number 1 overall, plus all of this cap space to where we could build a team almost like that if we do it smartly.
Yeah, you could turn this team around in 2 years.
That's the one thing that the Jaguars have always done. They've always had these opportunities and then they've blown them. So
because that's the problem is the
that's
Jaguars.
Where we're at right now.
The Jaguars always are rebuilding. They rebuild and then they don't hold on to the team that they built. But
they built a solid team in 2017. This
team was great.
Yeah,
that was a great team. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna
It was a scary team.
Yeah.
They messed up the moment that they paid Blake Bortles that amount of money. That was when they messed up.
I've had my theories
all the
on
way
that.
downhill from there.
Blake Bortles 3 years, $36 million. Nick Foles $88 million. Andrew Norwell $63 million. I'm just saying, come on. But Leonard Fournette had an attitude. Ramsey had an attitude. Ramsey really did have an attitude, though. But I'm just saying.
But
listen, we've spent a lot of time on the Jags because we had a guest speaker, and I was going to talk about a lot of this. Huh?
It's getting sickening. Let's move on. What do we got tonight?
Well, normally with our format, we would end up talking about NFL news first, but since we had a speaker and we don't want to leave him on here to listen to us speak forever, I just wanted to go over a few of the moves that are happening, and then we'll move on to our next one. Cherry, you have a big one. We'll let you talk about that.
I mean, that sounded.
Cherry,
these are just a few.
Yeah.
These are
Could
just
you
a few.
rephrase that, dude?
These are just a few that I've had in the last couple days. So, Washington football team franchise tags. Brandon Sheriff. I hate names. They're terrible. Don't like them. Dak Prescott. We know he got a deal tonight. $126 million guaranteed. Marcus May, franchise tag. Seahawks released Carlos Dunlap. The Texans. You got it. Justin Britt. Von Miller, charges dropped? ? Okay, we're good.
Chargers drop?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I think he got.
Oh, the Chargers. Oh, it's Chargers.
His
Okay.
I
charges
think
were
it's like a
dropped.
DUI or something.
Completely butchered that one. My fault.
I'm just going through NFL news really quick. Franchise tag on Justin Simmons by the Broncos. We already talked about Maya Shaka. Golden Tate released.
Doll.
Sad. And
Not
then
surprised.
Tyrell Williams, agreement with the Lions. Delaney Walker's coming back. He was on COVID. He took the COVID break. Okay, and then the best news, because I love talking about this guy. And then we'll move on. Tom Brady finally came out this week and said, "I'm sorry I threw the trophy. I wasn't thinking."
Oh, Tom, don't apologize for that. Fuck
I'm
that
like,
lady.
bro, it's been a month.
Don't go back to the Patriots.
He's old. He just sobered up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, say
You weren't
be
thinking
your
because
Florida
you're.
Hey,
man.
did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said though? He said that if dude wouldn't have caught it, the weight of that trophy would have went 80 feet. I mean, it
Dude.
gone, like
That is,
mean-
if that is the Tom,
Beside
if
that,
that's
it's like
the Tom Brady, if that's the Tom Brady I got for the last 18 years, I would have loved that guy. That Tom Brady was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
entertaining,
besides that, like,
didn't
why-
seem something stuck up his butt. That was awesome.
he clearly waited until nobody was talking about him anymore to apologize so they could talk about him some more. I hate that.
Perfect. Because I didn't even know that happened. That was perfect.
You didn't
I mean,
realize
even
you
though
didn't
that
realize that you weren't thinking a month ago? Like, bro, you were drunk. Just say it. Like, I got really drunk on the avocado toast tequila or whatever the hell you were drinking in Florida. Like, stop.
Yeah, I didn't even know that happened. So kudos
But
to
like,
him.
if she's that upset about that trophy being thrown, come on. Have you not seen what they do to the Stanley Cup? Like,
Seriously, every year
yeah, like, come on.
they
Get
put
over
that thing on
yourself.
its side. They sleep with it. Like, what the hell?
They drank beer and
They drink beer out of it.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that
Come on,
Karen
bro.
Karen so hard she got Tom Brady to apologize. He didn't even apologize for deflating footballs.
Seriously.
That
Same.
was the Karen you meet in the final boss level right there.
Dude, she got Tom
That
Brady
was the
to
Karen.
apologize.
That's the Karen at level 60 that you're level 50 and you have to
Good for
find some
you.
way to get rid of it.
Good for you, Karen Silversmith or whatever your name was. Anyways, Ray Cherry, Titans.
we don't have anything to report. Nothing happened.
Yes, you do. Yes,
Don't
you
you
do.
don't you lie now, Mr. Cherry.
Look, just because you drink your Trulies doesn't mean you can't tell us the truth.
Flame Cherry, come here. We need Jonathan Cherry now. Give us your best Jonathan.
Hey, so
Jonathan.
we did get rid of Isaiah Wilson today. Thank God. Hey, and I will drink to that.
Hold on, but explain why.
We're not sponsored by Trulies. Just let
Not
everybody know.
yet.
Oh,
But if
dude,
anybody
you
has
already
connections,
listen.
let me know.
You already got comments coming in.
Yeah. What
So
did you
go ahead.
get for him, Flint? What did you get for him?
More than we should have. You know, people are like, oh, you didn't get nothing. You just traded picks in the 7th round. That's nothing. Let's go through the Isaiah
Hold
Wilson.
on. Before you go on.
No, we don't need to.
No.
do it
We
every
need to because before you go on, remember we have listeners that maybe that only follow the Jags or only follow the Texans or whatever. So explain, give us the quick lowdown, and then tell us everything he did. Before you
basically,
explain why
we
you traded your first rounder for now a 7th rounder. Since you didn't want to
took-
say
we
that, I'll say it for you.
We traded 7th round picks with the Miami Dolphins for Isaiah Wilson today.
Who you drafted
Okay?
in the first round last
That
year.
was, yes, but that was the best we could get. I'm surprised we even got that because he's a hot mess. Now, let me go by the timeline of Isaiah, all right? AKA Killer Panda, all right? So, August 15th,
Flame Wilson.
all right, no, first, before we go to August, in July, he got put on the COVID list, okay, for being out and partying. August 15th, he nearly jumped off of a 2-story building because he was at a college party and got busted.
YOLO.
That was the best
September
part.
6th, he was placed back on COVID list. September 11th, he crashes his car into a wall, concrete wall, gets his DUI. October 23rd, he missed multiple practices due to a headache. October 27th, he's involved in his second accident, totals his car. Okay.
Man, this dude sounds like a disaster, yo.
November 29th, he finally plays his first game against the Colts, which we routed to Colts. So he was only in there, just in there. He was only in there for special teams for a couple of snaps, and then of course the kneel at the end. So he didn't do anything. Okay. December 5th, he was suspended for violating team rules. Okay. December 9th, he was placed on reserve again for related non-football illness. January 1st, he spent his New Year's Eve right before our Week 17th matchup, partying on a boat, went and got busted for that. Now, do you think any of the other 31 teams were going to give us anything for that hot mess?
Yeah, the Dolphins were going to
I
give
mean,
you a
Miami did.
Yeah, the Dolphins were going to give you a 7th rounder.
Yeah. And what is so surprising is of all the teams to go to, not like bumblefuck New England or Minneapolis, somewhere where you have to worry about partying. They take this too, like one of the biggest party cities, and expect that's going to rehabilitate him? Are you serious?
Hey, but isn't
hey, man, change the
Fitzmagic
scenery.
is talking about retiring, right? So they'll be all right. The party's leaving.
You just needed to change the scenery.
You messed up when you drafted a guy with his Twitter handle called Lay Zay. I mean, come on now.
Lazy.
You messed up right there. Lay Zay.
It was a bad pick, but he didn't have any DUIs or anything at Georgia. Now I will say Georgia.
Wait, you said it was bad. Was that worse than signing Clowney? Which one was worse?
No, this was far worse. This is far worse.
Really?
Bro, J-Rob is a beast.
This is supposed to be, to help our offensive line out so we can make some moves.
Haris could back me up. Haris, weren't they saying that he was the next Taylor Leon in the group?
Oh, Isaiah Wilson?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I can't really clown because I actually really like the Isaiah Wilson pick myself.
I mean, look.
I actually was a big fan of Isaiah Wilson coming out of Georgia, so I don't really have shit to say, except he was a Titan.
He was good. He was good on paper. You know what I'm saying? But once some people you can't give money to.
Do you miss Conklin?
Now I got to ask you, Cherry. Delaney Walker, is he staying? What's happening now that he's back?
Is he a free agent?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
But
free
he
to
also
sign with any
owns
team.
rights. Oh, any team.
Yeah, but I don't think I love Delaney. I've got like 3 Delaney Walker jerseys. I'd love to have him on the team, but I've heard he's Johnny right now because because
why?
He's a great prospect, but
It's a freak athlete.
there's two other teams in our own division that want him. All right, so this simple fact we need to keep him. I mean, he's really good. He is really good. And I think it's going to come down to us either choosing him or Corey Davis. And if that's the case, I think we should go with Johnny. I love Corey.
What's the franchise tag hit? Anybody know for tight ends? Is it 15 mil?
It's 10.1 million.
That's the franchise. So basically, all your money would go into a franchise tag, and you can't sign anybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to release some people too. I mean, there's going to be some changes. We're going to have to make space. But yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot of it.
Well,
That's a show.
There's been a lot of rumors of possibly Jonnu to the Colts. So, Harish, you want to give us an update? Do you want to give us an update
again,
from the signing the oldest quarterbacks in the league? The ones that nobody wants anymore?
27 isn't old, but okay. So yeah, I mean,
I
Bones
just
are
always
old.
have to pick on you. Come on now. You guys
That's
are
all
the
right.
Florida.
It's one
The
of-
Colts are the Florida of the NFL because it's where quarterbacks go to
Right.
retire and die. We've
Right,
figured
yeah,
that
sure.
out now.
No, yeah, I guess so. No, I don't know. I mean, personally, I really want Jonnu. I think he's a freak athlete. He's kind of what Carson Wentz needs. He'd be the Zach Ertz that Carson Wentz had in Tampa. You look, this offensive line is set. It's one of the best offensive lines in the league. You go draft a left tackle. I personally want Allen Robinson.
Hold on. I have a serious question right now. How many quarterbacks have the Colts been through in the last 5 years?
Four in the last 4 years. And we still have more wins than the Jags. Put that in perspective.
And the Jags still beat
It's
them at home.
embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We have more quarterbacks in the last 4 years and more wins. So while you're over there,
Actually,
sniffing
no.
around, why don't you go ahead
The
and take a
Jaguars
shot?
have had more quarterbacks.
In the last 4 years,
Yes.
we've had a different quarterback every year for the last 4 years.
Yeah, the Jags have. They
No.
had more. They had
Foles?
more quarterbacks last year.
Foles
They
started. Minshew started.
okay,
Lutton started.
Okay.
Glennon started.
okay, yeah. So Clint,
Don't
shut
forget
the
about
fuck up.
Bortles.
All right, that one backfired. I'll admit
Yeah,
it.
and we still have more wins. So look, this is a Frank Reich's move, right? This is Frank Reich 100% believes that he can revive Wentz. Wentz was an MVP caliber quarterback under Frank Reich. I mean, look, the Eagles have not been the same since Frank left, and so this is basically Frank Reich's job. If he can get it done, then we basically got another steal. If he can't, we're gonna be in QB purgatory. Like we've got 2 or 3 years. The thing about our quarterback position is there hasn't been any stability. I think the rest of this team is set. We need an edge guy, which I think we get in free agency, and we need a left tackle. And I think this roster is really good. It's a very solid roster. With this roster with Phillip Rivers should have beaten the Bills. Little small mistakes here and there, and that's what happens, right? When you're young. So
We
this
got
roster's really good.
comments from the group. Hunter Harris, who is a Titans fan, so he's talking about the Titans, but it goes with this as well. He said Jonnu is a good red zone tight end, but he's not a superstar. And then Josh Sr. said, "I'll take Ertz over Smith."
Yeah, the Ertz-
Josh
long
Senior
term,
is still a thing.
Yeah,
So
we have his
Like,
son.
he's
We have
still-
his
he's
son.
still around?
We have his son's Josh Sr. Jr. on the podcast. That's Matt.
Yeah,
he's right next
come
to
on,
you.
Yeah.
Right here.
That's Matt.
A lot's happened in the last year, Mr. Clint.
I think Ertz is better than Smith, but in a long term, you gotta go Smith because he's a lot younger. than
He's just
Ertz.
a freak athlete, man.
Yeah.
And this is what I'll say about Jonnu. Everybody gives Jonnu a hard time about last year, but you got to understand, once Taylor Lewan went down, Jonnu had to do a lot of blocking. He went from being a receiving tight end to a blocking tight end. So, I
I'll
mean,
give you that.
before that, he was lighting it up. So
It just adds a different dimension to his games. Again, whoever gets him is going to get a very good athlete, but it's also one of those things where you have to be careful what system he goes to. He's a guy that could go to a system that doesn't fit, and everybody starts shitting on him, right?
yeah.
So you got to be careful. Are the Colts the best fit? No, I'm playing Twitter GM. I'm playing Facebook Live GM. And I just think he's just a freak athlete, which is what Ballard loves. So I think I'd be glad to have him. But I think Zach Ertz is a better fit. I just want Johnny personally because he's younger and he's more of an athlete.
I know it'll never happen, but if Corey Davis does go to the Colts, that'd be a legitimate.
I don't want Corey Davis.
I think he'd be dangerous on that scheme.
The only wide receiver I want is Allen Robinson. If we don't get Allen Robinson, I want a wide receiver from the draft. You need to have big receivers on the outside. Again, you've got to put Carson Wentz in a situation where he can be successful. He was successful in 2017 with athletic tight ends and big wide receivers on the end. Michael Pittman's going to be fine this year. And you just got to go get another big wide receiver on the other side, and Allen Robinson fits that mold. So
You can keep your hands off the Jaguars, man.
It's all right. You guys have to remember when he left the Jaguars, he almost signed with the Colts. The money just wasn't right. He wanted a little bit more. The Bears gave him a little bit more, so he went to the Bears. So does it work out this time? We'll see. And then, I only want two players, Romeo Okwara, Allen Robinson. If we get one or both of those guys, we're set. I think we're going to be just fine. We'll just draft what we need.
So
A-Rob is coming home, Harish.
We'll see.
I hate the burst. I hate the burst that bubble bub. But
Yeah, I'm sorry.
A-Rob is coming home.
I'm
He's
glad
coming
you guys.
home.
what
I'm glad
about
you guys have done your research, but we'll see.
Harish?
Yeah.
Isn't T.Y. Hilton a free agent this year?
T.Y. Hilton wants too much money. He can peace out. I'm the anti T.Y. Hilton, man. I'm not paying T.Y. Hilton 13, 14 million.
Oh my God. Yo, it's so, I got to interrupt you, dude. It's so hilarious to come back into this thing to like hear you going from like T.Y. Hilton is like the god of the Colts to I'm so anti T.Y. Hilton. Like, dude, take a struggle, man.
I mean, don't we all
And
do
when-
that though? We all do that.
To be fair,
yeah.
to be fair, when T.Y. Hilton was when you were last year, 2 years ago, T.Y. Hilton was cooking the division. Now he's getting cooked by. It's called age, Clint. I know that's something that you do as well. Over time, there's this thing that kind of catches up to you at certain positions. You get a little bit older, right? So it's like when you drink, right? So as you get older,
Wait a minute.
as you
Wait a
get
minute.
older,
You're
hold on.
gonna-
I know. Brain power isn't the best for you. So let me help break it down for
man.
you.
God, I'm
older-
so happy we're back friends.
As you get older, there's this thing in your mind that happens where your brain gets bad, but you think you're still good at certain things. Like you think the Jaguars are awesome because they had the number 1 pick and $93 million. Your brain is like spin. The reality is it's not how it really works, right? So that's all right. When you guys,
That's all right, Harish. I got an analogy for you.
Back in the shitter.
I got an analogy for you,
man,
Harish.
this is gonna
Hold
be
on, wait.
so
I got
good
one for
this
you,
week.
Harish. Hold on. I'm supposed to be non-biased, but I have to back up the Jaguars on this one. And so, Harish, when you're saying like you get really old and you think things like you think you're still good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when you guys lose to the Jaguars at home, is like that the one time you can't get your dick hard for the hooker, or what?
Wait, the one
you're
time I
old?
can't get my dick hurt. I don't know. I've never been with the hooker, so I can't answer that question.
Bro.
Look,
Yeah.
you're talking to Harish again. Now, I'm not Stinson. Let's not get this.
This is gold.
If
Gold content.
Stinson made it this far into this podcast and heard that, he'd be like, God damn it, fuck these guys. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have cussed.
So,
It's all good. Trust
horrible
me.
analogy. That's a great analogy, except I'm not Stinson. So anyway, let's move forward. Hey, I got two people I want, and it's not going to change. I want Allen Robinson, Romeo Aquara, and then we can draft everybody else. Ballard hits third and fourth round bangers every year, so I'm not worried about the draft.
Harish, if you guys get Allen Robinson, like I will legitimately like cry man
Same.
tears.
Yeah,
if
and
you
I
guys
will
get him.
fucking laugh
Like,
my
dude,
ass off.
I know
because
you
we
will. I know
shit
you
on the
will.
Jaguars.
Dude, I mean, you guys picking up Allen Robinson with Carson Wentz coming in, like legit, that's gonna be a
It's gonna be scary, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be scary.
It's gonna be scary.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know if it's the old Carson Wentz. Like if Harish is right, and it's not the injuries or anything like that. It's just Frank. They're gonna be scary. But you got to think though, this draft is gonna be really good for wide receivers too. So
I think it's good up into the second, third round. I've done a lot of mocks. Where this draft is deep is left tackle. You can get solid left tackles in the third, fourth round. Solid left tackles. Alex,
And
linebackers
linebackers
are really good. Corners are good in this draft. But when you go wide receivers, you got Jamar. Obviously, the top four, right? It's really top heavy. And then after that, you've got some stragglers. There's some guys in the second, third round you can get. The deepest this draft is edge and left tackle. That's where this draft.
The Jacks got those two first rounders. So I mean, they might just draft it.
Hey, what's that second
No,
first round
dude.
pick? Is that like what 20 something?
Well,
Where-
for the
where
Jags,
picks? Yeah, where are the picks?
24th.
I think-
believe.
no, because the first round's 31. So we got the first and the 26th. Samantha, is that correct? First and the 26th.
I'm sorry, I'm reading comments from the group. What did you say? I got tired of listening to you guys talk.
F you.
Hey, that's what Josh Senior
we
said to
have
you,
the
too.
the first and the 26th pick, right?
We have the first, and then yes, because the Rams. We got the Rams first round pick. So
Okay.
Which is still
So if they're
conditional.
smart,
No, I thi-
no, I think it's solid. I don't think it was
Is
conditional.
it solid?
I think it's solid. If they're smart, Bulky should trade that 26th pick and get multiple second and third round picks.
I I wholeheartedly agree with you.
We're getting-
Harish, and,
You
I
have-
don't usually agree with you on much, but yeah.
You have to, again, you're a roster that needs to rebuild. But
Mm-hmm.
I only say this because this is exactly what Chris Ballard did for 3 years. Trade out of the first round unless there's a surefire guy and go get picks so you can build the roster.
Yep.
Like, you have to do that.
So we could trade our first round pick to the Texans because you Texans don't have a first round pick until what, 2020, like 37 or something like that.
Actually, they don't
Hey.
have a first or a second round
Hey, do you
pick,
guys
so
wanna-
probably
They don't
wouldn't
got
be
shit to give you. They ain't got shit to give you back, dude.
Do you guys want to go back in history? Go back in
Not
time,
really.
like time capsule. I'm taking back over the conversation before I segue it. Do you guys remember that one time when I was trying to segue it into the next segment, and Clint went and stopped talking, so I muted his mic, and then I couldn't unmute it? Do you remember that?
And then he left.
He got so mad.
And
Yeah.
he blocked us all on Facebook.
Yeah.
Never to
What the
return.
hell we got?
Hey Clint, you
back.
know why you won't do it? You know why you won't do that anymore? Because over time you've grown, so your brain cells have gotten.
Oh God, here we
Oh,
go.
thanks, Harish.
Well, Jacoius Whitmill is giving us a lot of comments. Asked for a shout out. So Jacoius, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. So
Hi-
he is a
hi,
Texans fan.
Jacoius.
So Matt, speaking of that, Texans, J.J. Watt is throwing a lot of shade. He's throwing more shade than Meghan Markle threw on the Royals last night. I'm just
Wait,
saying.
what did he say?
He's like posting all
Hit us.
kinds. Like you guys do Twitter, I do Instagram. Okay, that's where we're different. It's okay. He's been posting
JJ
on.
doesn't really post on Twitter.
He posted on Instagram. It'd be like a water bottle that fell over that says like Watt, and it's got the Cardinals logo on the top, and it's like pre-practice fuel. Like I'm like, that's feeling rather shady. And then he posted something like on Twitter about what did he say the other day? I was like, dude, is he high? He said, are pro golfers good at mini golf, or do the obstacles just make it that much different? And I was like, where are you going with this one, bro? I don't know. He's like, seems like a different guy ever since he got freed from the Texans
All right, here we
stronghold.
go. Are professional golfers superior at mini golf, or do the obstacles even the playing field? My guy.
So tell us, Matt. First of all, for the people that can't, this is a podcast, so there's people that can't see what you're wearing. Can you explain?
I got my new JJ Watt Cardinals jersey from China. Cardinals on there.
Yeah, he's got a JJ Watt jersey with Cardinals taped to the front of it.
So that's
Yeah,
why the D
so-
looks like a tube.
Yeah, exactly. You keep saying throwing shade on my team. The Cardinals. He didn't throw no shade to the Cardinals. He's representing them fine.
Dude, yo.
Nothing wrong. There was a comment on.
Ray, you got to say something because everybody has to see your face right now.
I'm just like, look, you might, for all you Texas fans on here, you might as well go to the Cardinals anyways.
Thank you. Exactly. Thank you.
I
Deshaun's on
heard
the
they're
way,
going to trade
apparently.
Watson for Kyler Murray anyway. So, I mean,
We had a comment on the chat that said, "Is Briggs a Cardinals fan now?" Absolutely, 110%. Let's go, Arizona. Arizona, Texas. Let's go.
Hey, look, real quick, Jacoya says, actually, I'm a free agent and I'm courting my pick of teams, including your beloved Jags, Sam.
Don't do that.
So
Don't.
all the Cardinals fans
Don't be
are
a
throwing out
don't be a
bandwagon-
Flame Douglas or a Michael Tessmer and just shop teams. Don't do it. Just stick with your team.
Well,
man.
look, if you're
or
leaving,
the best of us all, Nick Fuentes.
but you're leaving the Texans because they suck and miss these players. Then why pick the Jags? I mean, it's the same team.
Calm down.
really, there's only two teams in the division. That's the Colts and the Titans. I mean, come on.
As of now, yeah.
We're the only ones
I
that
agree
are.
with you. As of
We're the
now,
only
I
ones-
agree with you.
We're the only ones doing our shit right now.
They get
I
one
remember
They get one
I never
division.
wanted to be friends with Ray.
They get one division title in 10 years. Like the last time they had
They want to be talked about.
the last time they had a division title, Ja Rule was on a duet with every female R&B singer, and now they want to come out.
And they the best.
This is what we think about you.
Yeah, now they want to come out. Now they want to come out as DJ Khaled.
I mean, y'all can't stop us. We sweep y'all for years. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean,
Dude,
Look,
man,
here.
no, you don't. Last year, we
you can talk about, you can talk about when we win a title and don't, but even when y'all win a title, we still sweep y'all.
God.
I mean,
y'all haven't
time.
y'all haven't won a title since what was the last time? 2000.
Y'all could be-
2007.
y'all can beat every
Maybe.
Jags can beat every team
2008?
on their schedule, but they'll still have 2 losses, and that'll be the Titans every year.
Yeah, okay. I don't give a
He
shit.
beat
I
us.
don't care, dude. I don't care. Like, y'all are clowns,
You
man.
do care.
Coming
Don't
in
say you
like
don't care. Don't say you don't care.
13 years
Clint,
later.
Clint.
13 years later. Yes.
Clint.
Sorry.
You
Sorry,
can't
Sam.
say
I'll-
you can't say clown.
Not cool.
He's
Hey,
talking
it's
about
off limits.
celebrating.
Yeah.
Yo,
Clowns,
Clowney
we like
is
that.
definitely he's just getting passed around the AFC South like this. Is
Oh, no.
hilarious.
Look, he's not coming. The Colts won't touch Clowney, so don't be throwing that passing around bullshit. You're not coming here.
Well,
Ballard
anyways,
said no.
Matt, I know you're excited that they're all stealing your thunder because you don't want to talk about the Texans because of how sad it is.
I mean, I'll talk about it. The Texans. I mean, it don't matter to me.
Well, today you guys signed former Seahawks center Justin Britt, 1 year, $5 million. Anything
we
else
signed him
major?
Saturday, but
Okay, well, excuse me. As of today, in the last week since we
If-
last recorded.
if,
Anything
if
else?
his knees are if his knees are healthy, that's a good signing.
That's
Way
actually
better.
really good. I was going
Right.
to say that's a great sign.
But there's a reason why nobody's picked him up, so that's a little concerning.
What's the knee issue?
He's tore it twice.
Ooh,
So yeah,
okay, that's bad. At the
Yeah,
center
so-
position, that's not good.
yeah. So if he's back to 100%, then that's a great sign. Way better than Nick Martin. Nick Martin's trash. So glad he's gone. But let's be honest. Washington's gonna be sitting. We're not trading him, which is smart and dumb at the same time. But it's just hard
Don't
to
you
be
think?
Texans.
Don't you think if you guys got rid of why am I having a brain
Easterby?
fart? Easterby.
Easterby?
Don't you think Watson would
Damage-
stay if Easterby was gone?
Nope.
You
The
don't think
damage is
Watson would
done.
stay?
Nope. That's like he's getting cheated
Who's the
on so many
problem?
times. Oh yeah, I stopped cheating. I stopped cheating. But he keeps cheating.
So
The
hold on, but
damage is
wait.
done.
So who's the problem?
Easterby.
Well, it's McNair for not listening to his players. 100% McNair.
It's the whole origin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there any point where the NFL steps in and says, "Look, man, we've gotten way too many complaints. This is way too much. You got
I-
to sell the team."
Well, they have
You know,
a
kinda how
players'
they did
union for that
Clippers.
reason.
I don't think so because he didn't do nothing like the Clippers owner did, and he used a racial slur. But
He did though, didn't he? Before,
No, he
didn't.
like years ago.
His dad did.
his dad
Oh.
did.
His dad did.
Excuse me.
Yeah. But I don't see him doing that. But there's been rumors that I can't think of the owner of Amazon. He's looking to buy an NFL team. There's
Bezos?
rumors. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
He's big time interested. There's talks about him collaborating with McNair. Maybe that would help get Easterby out of there. I don't know, but
That sounds worse, honestly.
No,
that guy's a shithead too. If you didn't know.
It would be awesome.
You know
It
who I
would be
really
awesome
wish
if.
they would let buy the team is that Mark Cuban, man. I would love Mark
Yes,
Cuban.
that would be an awesome owner.
Yeah. Mark
He
Cuban's
is
a
so
G,
fun.
bro. And you know
Yeah, I love
that's a
him.
guy. That's a guy that'll stick up for his.
Look.
Look, as a Mavs fan, obviously off topic. As a Mavs fan, that's a guy that sticks up for his players.
look, this is tells you how this is bad. This tells you how fed up I am with McNair. I'm this close of wanting Bud Adams back as an owner. This
shit.
close. That tells you how bad I hate Calvin McNair. Is this?
Oh no.
It's a bad boss that doesn't listen to your employees. Nobody's happy. Nobody wants to be here. Is this?
Lamarcus Joyner is being
They're not
released.
going to win.
That's what Tessimer just
Really?
wrote.
From the Rams.
I guess that's new breaking news. Thank you, Michael
I thought he
Tessmer.
just got Marcus Jordan.
Yeah, Tessmer would tell us about the Rams because he's a Rams fan. So thank you.
He follows them. But again, I mean,
Thank you for that on-the-ground
classic
reporting.
classic example. I mean, this is just going to continue to happen over the next 2 weeks. Players are just going to get released. That cap number is apparently.
I still
supposed to
don't
be increased
understand.
this year.
We only have a couple minutes to wrap, but let's talk about this whole cap space thing. I still don't understand why they had to cut the cap. I understand because of profit and blah,
They
blah,
didn't
blah, blah,
make
blah.
any money.
But you're telling me, but the times are just different. I guarantee there would be some way, shape, or form they could make up for that.
Yeah,
Maybe
by
next
letting
year.
by letting
Next year
fans
when
go.
fans come. Here's the thing. So the NFL was fully operated basically digitally, right? Those people even the people that they had virtual fans, I don't think a lot of those guys didn't pay any money. It was basically like, hey, show up. If you get on, you're good. If you don't, then you're not, right?
Yep.
And then you see all just managing a team itself. Basically, owners were just shelling money out, but there's no money coming in.
Yeah, you make so much money at the gate.
Right.
Concessions. I mean, that's where teams make their money at.
And that's all pure
Fan
profit.
shops. Yeah, that's where they make their money. They ain't get any of that.
So I think it's temporary. I think it'll go back up next year. The TV contract does help. If there was no huge TV contract, then the salary cap would be dog shit right now.
And they're probably going to renegotiate the TV contract going into next year because more people are still going to be at home no matter what is going on in the world. I think
also hurt was the blackouts.
Yeah, the
Blackouts
blackout
are a
thing is about to get canceled. So the blackout
yeah,
thing
it's
is
totally going to
thing.
be canceled.
The blackout thing was the ruling on that one actually happened like 2 or 3
Wait,
years
hold on.
ago.
Explain.
They just haven't.
Explain that.
So you know how the Jaguars were like being blacked out if we didn't have X amount of viewers who were
Yes.
watching the games from the house?
Yeah, they can't do
Well,
that anymore.
other teams had that same thing. Like we were the one team that nobody was really watching because we were terrible. So it was really affecting us. Now, what happened last year, they can't set that same amount of rules for every other team for the blackout because more people are staying home and watching games from their home. So they're going to lift that blackout rule. They have
Well,
to.
and
they-
when that was
they
happening,
realized-
and that's going to drive their revenue up more because they can charge more for advertising and do all the other
that's always
things
been
that come with
stupid
it.
to me too, because when all that was happening, which that's been years ago, the last time we were blacked out, it's been well over 10 years ago, but it was always crazy to me because we have one of the largest stadiums in one of the smallest markets. You know what I mean? So that was always crazy to me anyways that they could do that. And that's why we ended up tarping, which we don't have tarps anymore. Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's why we ended up having to tarp because we had to close down.
We ain't got no tarps no more, so stop talking all that ass, yo.
So
what Clint said.
So actually, the blackout thing goes back even further than that, right? So the NFL imposed a blackout rule, but so the FCC controls blackouts, and they're the guys that basically say, hey, you have to have blah 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 networks distribute the sports in X amount of markets, whatever, right? So that started in 2014. So throughout 2015, the 2015 season, there were no blackouts. Like it didn't exist.
Yeah,
came
no,
back
it
in
happened
20
to us, dude.
Right. Well, it came back in 2016, the blackout rule.
No.
and then-
In 2014 and 2015, we were the Jaguar fans were experiencing blackouts. Like they
Really?
wouldn't show. Yeah, they
So
wouldn't
it-
show the game.
No, it's been
unless
longer
there
than
was
that.
X amount.
Yeah. So, but
It
hold on.
might have been, yeah.
So what
So
happened?
so what
was-
you're saying is wrong.
No, it's not wrong. I'm literally reading the article from the NFL and from the FCC. Like this is how it works. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
So while Clint's brain continues to shrink because he's been drinking too much,
Probably.
the blackout was terminated for last season because of Corona, and that's why there's rumors that it might continue through this year.
A comment in the group said Jacksonville is Akron, Ohio, with a beach.
Oh wow!
Oh, okay. I guess that's why we signed
Oh.
Urban Meyer. Like, shut up. Whoever.
Akron, Ohio.
Akron.
It's Akron, actually.
Akron.
By the way.
Yeah.
It's
It was a
actually
Titans fan.
Don't-
Shocker.
Don't disrespect the city LeBron built.
In Nashville.
Only good thing he's ever
is
done.
Nashville is just hipster Memphis, but not as cool. I mean, I said it. I said it.
Got him. Woo! Anyway.
Anyway,
So
that's a
there's
really
your-
cool
there's
story.
your-
Nobody cares.
Yeah. What else do we have? We don't have. We're basically done.
I just was looking this up so we could like confirm. The last ones were 2010, and that included the Bengals, the Raiders, and the Buccaneers.
So the Black House 2010.
Jaguars were in 2009, I believe. I'll look it more up later. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. Like, I can't find it.
But
Yeah, I literally found an article that said 2014.
anyways, guys, free agency 2021. We made it. We're almost at the draft.
Here
We
we
got-
go.
What, a little over a
Hey.
month until the draft? A lot of things are going to happen. Normally
21
last
days. Sorry.
how many
Not
days?
21 days. 51 days. Sorry.
51 days to the draft. A lot's going to happen, especially with the salary cap stuff. But the good news is for you guys is now that we're on the Brawl Network, you're going to find us weekly. We were doing bi-weekly or monthly last season. Now, season 3, every week. Are you guys so excited?
Yeah, I'm stoked. Let's do it.
Yay!
Yes.
Fucking do it.
And, God, you guys are awful tonight. Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
I think we've been pretty good.
Well, I'll be like,
Actually.
hey, guys, we just signed the
hey,
first black female referee. And you guys are like,
We're just bad at the recommendation stuff. We'll get better. Hey, it's a long season. We're in this for the long haul.
but anyways,
It's a marathon,
also
not a sprint.
to add to it, Thursday Night Lives, which will only be in the group and on the podcast page with Mr. Chris Jackson. He will be running his own show on Thursday nights. Round of applause.
Woo! Let's go! Come on, baby! Let's go!
That's how you set that up, Samantha. Woo!
Is that
Do
better?
Thank you.
I'm talking about.
And I know for you Colts fans, he's working on getting Stephen Holder on before the draft, so that'll be good. I like
Word up.
Stephen Holder. He's
Yeah,
a
Stephen
good
Holder's good.
commentator. He's also really good to look at. I'm just saying, for the ladies. Just saying.
All right, way to make it awkward.
How's that awkward?
You're not gonna get applause from us about that. So
How is it? How is that awkward? It's International Women's Day. I can do whatever I want. I'm on the East Coast. I got another hour and 20 minutes that I could do whatever I want. And I love. Oh, did Harish get dropped? He was so loud he dropped his bandwidth. I love it. He muted himself. That's how loud he was.
there you go.
Well, guys, we thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle podcast this evening. Of course, it was great. Matt, tell us where to find you on Twitter.
Fan Battle Briggsy.
Clint.
At Mr. Clint House on TikTok.
That's it? No Twitter? Oh, no, you don't. I forgot. You got
Yeah,
banned
no.
from Twitter.
I'm banned.
Cherry. You got Twitter? Instagram?
Rcherry76 on Twitter.
Wait, say it one more time.
Rcherry76.
And Harish ended up muting himself and screaming so loud that his bandwidth in his computer, I guess, completely dropped his call. So you can find Harish on Twitter at the Uncle Gandhi, and you can find me at Sammy Football. We thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check out the Brawl Network. It's at Network Brawl on Twitter, and you can find them also on Facebook at the Brawl Network. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Somebody just said, I'm more excited than Philip